listening to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM. Every Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., the Archdiocese of Chicago presents programming about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Good morning and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann and we hope your day's been off to a great start. We welcome everyone who is tuning in on WNDZ 750 AM here in Chicago and all who are watching our live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago. Today we're super excited to be talking about Catholic Charities team participation in the 2021 Chicago AIDS Run and Walk that's going to be held on October 2nd. For more than 40 years, Catholic Charities has been assisting clients who have the HIV virus, which causes AIDS, a condition also known as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. HIV can weaken a person's immune system and lead to other very serious medical concerns. We were among the early responders who welcomed every client who came to us, despite the fact that early on, people were dying from AIDS, and there were conflicting reports about the best medical treatments out there and how the virus spread. Many HIV and AIDS clients were often shunned by their families and friends, too, and so the compassion and the practical help that they were given by Catholic Charities staff members was even more vital to their ability to stay positive and fight for their health. Today, medications can control HIV successfully, but as with all healthcare, there are many people who do not have the same access to treatment as other people do. We are delighted to have Ashley Styx with us today, who is Catholic Charities Program Director of Community Casework in Lake County. Ashley coordinates all of our HIV/AIDS services, and she is coordinating our team participation in this year's walk on October 2nd. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us, Ashley, how many people in Illinois and in Chicago live with HIV?
In Illinois, more than 45,000 people either have HIV or are living with HIV infection that can lead to AIDS. The Chicago Department of Public Health, or CDPH, estimates that about 19,500 individuals have been diagnosed with HIV through 2018 and were living with HIV in 2019. And among those in Chicago living with it in 2019, there were 66% who accessed care. 41% were retained in medical care, and there were about 652 new HIV diagnoses reported among Chicago residents, which is a 14% decrease since 2018 and the lowest number since 1988. And there were about 5 times as many diagnoses among men than in women. And individuals from 20 to 29 years old represented the largest percentage of new HIV diagnoses. And also, the groups that are disproportionately impacted by HIV include males, gay, bisexual, and Black communities.
So I'm sorry that those disproportionate numbers still exist, but at least the overall number is decreasing, and that's a positive sign, right?
Absolutely.
Can you explain to our audience what's included in Catholic Charities' HIV/AIDS program?
Sure. There's 2 main parts to our program. One is education for the public at large, and the other is the services for people with HIV and AIDS. So to tell you a little bit more about those services specifically, we have a long-term medical case management program in both Cook and Lake County that focuses on the participants' medical care and their adherence to their medical care and the medication. In Lake County, we also have our HIV-specific food pantry called the Care Cupboard, along with other supportive services including transportation, mental health, psychosocial, substance abuse, and medical benefits coordination.
And so it's really a two-part program in which you're trying to be a liaison for the clients with the medical community, but also offering them the basic needs that they have. And then I guess a third part would be educating the public. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct.
And so how many clients are in our program right now?
In Lake County, we currently have 86. So we have 2 case managers, and they can each have up to 45 on their caseload. So we do have a few openings currently. And then in Cook County, the last time I checked with that program, there was around 15 clients enrolled in our program.
And Ashley, I was thinking of you yesterday because our President and Chief Executive Officer, Sally Blount, has written a wonderful article in the newest issue of Teenager News, and it's called 3 Lessons from the Pandemic. And Sally identifies key observations from the past year that will influence the future of our work as an agency. One of these lessons seems to apply directly to your work. Sally says, the pandemic has reminded us that our calling is not to efficiency, but to accompaniment and compassion. True charity and mercy only work one heart at a time. Again, I just thought of you when I read that quote yesterday, Ashley, thinking that, you really help people one-on-one because each person's situation is so completely different. Can you describe, some ways for our audience that you and your colleagues do provide charity and mercy one heart at a time?
Sure. I think a great example of that is right at the beginning of the pandemic when so much was still unknown about COVID and fear was so high surrounding that. Our case managers, when the stay-at-home order was put in place, went above and beyond to check in on all of their program participants, sometimes weekly or bi-weekly, when actually the funder requirement is actually only monthly. And after, the first few months of that kind of unrolled, they started to get a lot of positive feedback and thanks from our program participants for the extra efforts that our case managers gave, because during those times, our case managers were sometimes the only people reaching out to our clients to check on them and see how they were doing. So I think that's always a great example of how we are there individually for each person enrolled in our program.
That's a wonderful example. And can I just ask in general terms, since the HIV/AIDS crisis started in the 1980s, as we said at the top of the show, many clients were shunned by their family and friends. I'm hoping that you're finding that the clients who come to Catholic Charities for help, they need that liaison to the medical community and that they need those basic necessities. But I'm hoping that they come with less emotional or psychological wounds that they've been inflicted from society just because of the acceptance and tolerance that has been built in society over the last 40 years. Would you agree with that?
I think we probably see that, yes, a little less than it was when the epidemic first started back in the 80s. I think we do still see that. There are still, that's a benefit of the education part of our program, is that there still is a stigma throughout the population that we are hoping to work on. Both myself and one of our other case managers sits on the Lake County Stand Against Stigma Coalition as a way to try to help reduce that even further than it already has since the epidemic started back in the 80s.
That's wonderful that that's also one of your goals, Ashley. We're going to take a quick break here on The Voice of Charity, and when we return, we're going to continue our conversation with Ashley Styx. Please stay tuned.
There is so much waiting for you at Catholic Charities Senior Services. We offer programs and services to help make the most of every day. Friendships and fun are guaranteed at our drop-in senior centers. Our adult daycare centers offer enjoyment and greater supervision to seniors who need it, while their caregivers get a break. Holy Family Villa provides a beautiful, safe environment for seniors looking for short or long-term residential facility. And we offer assistance with senior benefits, care coordination, congregate and home-delivered meals, hospital transition, and much more. For more than 100 years, we have accompanied seniors through every transition in their lives, and we are here for you now. Catholic Charities is a name and an agency you can trust. Call Senior Services today at 312-655-7700. That's 312-655-7700.
Welcome back.
Es fabuloso verlos.
Dobrze jest znowu być razem.
It's good to be together again.
After so many months apart, pandemic capacity limits have been lifted, and we want to welcome everyone back to church. We can all pray together again. And listen as our choirs lift their voices in song.
We've been together in spirit.
And now, when you are ready, our doors are open wide.
Nuestras puertas están abiertas de par en par.
Nasze drzwi są otwarte.
And we're here to welcome you back to Catholic Mass.
Welcome back to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and I'm delighted to have Ashley Styx with me today. Ashley is the Program Director of Community Casework in Lake County for Catholic Charities' HIV and AIDS program. And we're discussing the Catholic Charities' participation in the 2021 AIDS Run and Walk, which is going to be on October 2nd. Ashley, can you share with our audience some of the details about the run on October 2nd?
Sure. So as you mentioned, the event is scheduled for Saturday, October 2nd. Again, this year, the AIDS Foundation of Chicago, AFC, who organizes the event, is offering a stay-at-home option as well for those that do not feel completely safe yet attending a large group event. So Team Catholic Charities is encouraging our participants to do the walk-around remotely due to COVID. And the money raised for our team, for Team Catholic Charities, about 90% of those proceeds raised will go directly back to the HIV/AIDS services here at Catholic Charities.
That's wonderful. And can you explain a little in greater detail how it would work for someone who wanted to participate remotely?
Sure. So to participate remotely, you can do it any place, anytime. It doesn't even have to be on October 2nd if that day, for whatever reason, does not work for you. The organizers of the event, so AFC, have an app that you use to stay connected during the event and still make it feel like you're participating. It's been a great option the past 2 years to ensure anyone that wants to can participate without worrying about the impacts of COVID. It's also opened up the ability for people that we know outside of the state or the county or the city to also be able to participate. One of my good friends who lives in Colorado was able to join our team last year, and she wouldn't have been able to do that without this option.
And can you share what kind of other progress is being made in Chicago and in the state of Illinois regarding the fight against HIV/AIDS?
Sure. So CDPH, the Chicago Department of Public Health, has currently an ambitious plan to expand HIV information and resources before 2025 while adapting new ways to link Chicago statistics to national records. And to better align with that, they've adopted a new methodology of calculating new and prevalent HIV cases. And then this will allow Chicago to do a direct comparison to national, state, and county level indicators.
And so for anyone listening who'd like to participate in the AIDS Walk on October 2nd, how can they reach out and join the team?
Sure. So we do currently have a website. It is giveclassy.org/Team Catholic Charities.
That sounds very inviting. Can you repeat that again for us?
Sure. giveclassy.org/Team Catholic Charities.
And can you also suggest to listeners who want to learn more about the, HIV/AIDS and help in the fight to eradicate the disease, what's the best way for them to learn more information, city and statewide?
Sure, I would encourage them to check out the Getting to Zero initiative online at gtzillinois.hiv. This is a state initiative to end the HIV epidemic by 2030, which means zero new transmissions and zero people with HIV who are not engaged with care.
And can you share a story or two about our clients that have come to Catholic Charities, either desperately needing medical treatment or those basic necessities, and how Catholic Charities has been able to help them get into a routine and a regular schedule that's been beneficial to their ability to fight the disease?
Sure. One of our success stories right now is a collaboration between our program and our internal program with emergency assistance. So we had a client during the pandemic who moved right around the time that the pandemic hit, and then she fell behind in her rent when her job was lost because she worked at a restaurant and it closed. And due to her legal status, she had a very hard time finding a new finding a new job. And so during that time, her case manager linked her to our services at emergency assistance. And it took a little while. There was, a little bit of complication due to the landlord selling the property recently. So, kind of slowed things down a little bit. But all throughout that, our case manager was able to give the client the extra supportive services that they needed. Providing her with gas cards, providing her with food cards, making sure she came to our food pantry, and at the same time staying in touch with the case manager and emergency assistance to make sure that that went as smoothly and quickly as possible. And that case manager and emergency assistance went above and beyond as well for this client. The case manager stopped at the client's home on the way home one day to sign the forms because we weren't seeing clients in person yet, but he wanted to make sure that she got this assistance as soon as possible. And it's just a great example of how our internal programs work very well together and are so interconnected. And, in the end, she did find a new job, she maintained her housing, and that might not have happened without those internal connections that we have.
And that's also a blessing of the Catholic Charities HIV/AIDS program, because you have your services that are specific to your program, but you also have the resources of the wider agency at your disposal to establish that case management and help define what other program areas would be helpful to have that person look into in greater detail.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're going to take another break here on The Voice of Charity. And when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Ashley Styx about Catholic Charities' HIV/AIDS program. Stay with us.
A gently used laptop or desktop computer that is gathering dust in your home? Consider donating to our Catholic Charities Veterans Computer Project. We will clean out your device, give it new software, and repurpose it for a veteran who is looking for employment. Your gift will make an incredible difference in a veteran's ability to find a job. Catholic Charities provides veteran services throughout Lake and suburban Cook counties, giving participants an array of professional and personal support. Our veterans have served our country, and it is our privilege to serve them. To learn more about Catholic Charities Veterans Services and the Veterans Computer Project, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Welcome back to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and I'm here today with Ashley Styx, who is Program Director of Community Casework in Lake County for Catholic Charities HIV/AIDS program. And we're talking about the 2021 AIDS Run and Walk, which is on October 2nd, and Catholic Charities team participation in that walk. And we shared a little bit about the details about our remote participation, so people can participate from their homes even now, and then contribute that proceeds to our team event. But Ashley, can you just share a little bit about what it's like to participate in that event? I know you've been part of the team for a number of years now.
Sure. So I actually have not had the fortunate opportunity to participate in person yet because of the pandemic. But even remotely, I would say it's a very fun event that still offered a sense of community for those living with HIV and Catholic Charities supportive services. The AFC really builds up the community and those participating in the services. Great involvement through the app and great involvement through their social media on Facebook as well. The AIDS Run Walk has its own account as well with information leading up to the event. So again, it's just a great sense of community for everybody involved.
A very feel-good, positive environment where you're getting great exercise and raising money for a terrific cause.
Absolutely, yes.
Can you share a little bit about the challenges that occurred during the pandemic in keeping our HIV/AIDS program going?
Sure. So I would say we had a couple that, of course, we've overcome, and the clients and the staff have done a great job with. One is for the clients specifically, due to the nature of HIV and AIDS, they're more susceptible to, if they were to contract COVID, to have severe symptoms. And again, like at the beginning of the pandemic, so much was unknown, and part of our job was to help them navigate that with education through our collaboration with the Lake County Health Department to make sure that they had their questions answered and they felt comfortable, still participating in services in a way that they were comfortable with. On the other side, we also had challenges for the staff. We one day went from providing all of our services 100% in person, and then the next day we had to do 100% remote. And, just juggling what that meant, mailing paper to clients, explaining it to them over the phone, and I just, blown away with how the staff was able to navigate that. They continued to meet all of their responsibilities, throughout the entire pandemic, and they didn't miss a beat.
They're so courageous and they're so brave. As I mentioned earlier, when the HIV/AIDS crisis occurred back in the 80s, and Catholic Charities was one of the first responders to step up, those staff members really, really put themselves out there because so much was uncertain about how the virus was transmitted, not unlike the pandemic, not unlike COVID-19. And so it's quite inspiring to hear how you and your colleagues are doing the same things that Catholic Charities staff members did 40 years ago to make sure that HIV clients feel supported and that they feel that we are here no matter what their needs are. It's really inspiring, Ashley.
Thank you.
And can you also explain a little bit about the Lake County food pantry that's designed especially for AIDS clients? How does that differ than our normal food pantries?
Sure. So for our normal food pantry, at least the one in Lake County, you can visit that once a month. But the HIV-specific food pantry, our care covered, our HIV clients can visit that food pantry once a week. And the food in that food pantry is designed, or it's purchased specifically to make sure that it meets the nutritional needs of those living with HIV and AIDS. There are some nutritional restrictions that they have to follow to best maintain their overall medical health. And we work with nutritionists at the health department, make sure that the food that we purchase meets the nutritional needs of those living with HIV and AIDS.
And have you found a way, either through Zoom or maybe even some in-person support groups now, for our HIV/AIDS clients to stay in touch with one another and support each other?
Yeah, throughout the pandemic, our mental health, substance abuse, and psychosocial groups, which focuses on social skills for those living with HIV and AIDS, continue to take place remotely through Zoom or Teams. And so those do continue so that they do still have a place to kind of connect and talk, and also, of course, maintaining their communication with their case manager as well for that support.
And how long do clients stay with Catholic Charities HIV/AIDS program? Is there a set amount, or does it vary with every person?
Thankfully, that's one of the great things about this program. It's long-term in the sense that they can participate in the program for as long as they would like, and as long as they meet the eligibility requirements as well, and continue to maintain that with their case manager.
Well, and from what you've said, it seems like some people have a very positive experience. Do they end up being mentors or group leaders for others to show them, how much positive outcome can come from being part of Catholic Charities program and services?
I think some of those relationships may happen naturally, especially for those participating in the groups together. And, the nature of it being long-term is that they build long-term relationships as well with each other. We're very much looking forward to the day that we can do those groups in person again, so that everyone, feels comfortable participating again and continue to build those relationships together.
And I know, as we said earlier, that part of your program is education of the greater public. And I know some of that includes parish work, but that's probably had to be hindered to some extent with the evolution of the pandemic. Am I right?
Yeah, the way that has worked has absolutely changed a little bit during the pandemic. We do have a specific person that is her role. That's basically the third program here. We have the Cook County Case Management Program, Lake County Case Management Program, and then our parish and outreach person. So she's done a great job throughout the pandemic navigating those changes as well.
But I'm guessing participating in this annual walk would help people feel like they're really contributing and helping as well.
Yes, absolutely. Again, 90% of what we raise goes directly back to our programs. So it's a great way to further support our, in a fun way, especially in October. The weather is still nice out. So, take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And can you share again that website address for anyone in the audience who would like to participate in Catholic Charities team group effort to be part of the AIDS Walk this year?
Sure. It's giveclassy.org/Team Catholic Charities.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Ashley, I know you juggle many things in addition to the AIDS, HIV/AIDS services. You handle many emergency services in Lake County. How is that going? With the increase in the Delta variants now. How are you finding your department in terms of handling all Catholic Charities emergency needs?
Sure. So yes, I do oversee our food pantries and our emergency assistance program as well. And I would say that's an ever-changing aspect, right? As COVID changes, as kids go back to school, that changes the needs of the food pantry. It changes the needs of emergency assistance as the eviction moratoriums continue to change and get extended and not extended. It kind of changes every day what the needs are. We're seeing still a lot of people who are in need of rental assistance because of COVID. Some kind of impact, whether it's medical or they lost their job, and we continue to respond to that the best way that we can through our collaboration with the county.
And can you give for everybody that phone number if they want to reach out to get emergency assistance, what that phone number would be?
Sure. Our intake line in Lake County is 847-782-4100.
And then how about a specific phone number for anyone who wants to learn more about our HIV/AIDS program?
Sure. You can reach me at 847-782-4265.
Ashley, your dedication to these positive initiatives that educate and unite people in support of all of those with HIV/AIDS are truly inspiring. The 2020 HIV/AIDS Walk website again is giveclassy.org/Team Catholic Charities. And if you want to learn more about Catholic Charities services, again, that's 312. One more time, Ashley, your number?
847-782-4265.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on the show today, and best of luck with the AIDS Walk coming up.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We invite everyone back for another edition of the Voice of Charity next Tuesday. For now, we wish you a great week ahead from everyone at Catholic Charities.